Welcome to today's video. I'm Nazaru, and we're going to be taking a look at a new weapon build that I believe most Battlefield veterans will love, especially if you play a lot of Assault. The weapon today is the Cord 6P67. The Cord 6P67 is, in real life, a successor to the AEK 971, which I believe why we have this in the game rather than the AEK. It shoots 545 by 39mm. The Russian Special Forces and the airborne units use this weapon. The suppressor variant, which I will go into a little bit later on in the weapon build, is the 6P67-1 cord. It's also known for its low recoil and high rate of fire, as well as its real life component has a 2-round burst mode like the AN-94. In Battlefield 6, this comes at 20 damage, 900 rate of fire, and a 30-round standard mag. Pros for this weapon is that it's got a fast rate of fire, it's the third fastest in the game. Like I said, it's got low recoil, quick reload time, and a quick ADS time. Though the cons is that it's low damage. That 20 damage, it makes it the lowest primary other than the PW7 or the MP7. And at 35 to 70 meters, it's going to be a 6-shot body shot no matter what. So already at 35 meters, you're going to have a little bit of trouble taking out some enemy targets, but you still have a fast TTK because of that 900 rate of fire. It's also got a low muzzle velocity. As I just alluded to though, this is a successor to the AEK 971. It feels very similar in the hands. Especially if you played a lot of Battlefield 3 and a lot of Battlefield 4, this gun is going to feel right at home, and it kind of gives you that old school classic Battlefield vibes that we were kind of missing at the beginning of this game. Now luckily, unlocking the Cord 6P67 isn't going to be that difficult. All you have to do is just inflict damage using assault rifles, and you just have to be a high enough level. The challenge itself is pretty easy. And once you get it, this gun still feels pretty good, even with no attachments on it. You could run this gun naked and it still feels very good. Like I said, it's known for its low recoil and fast rate of fire. You're not going to have much trouble getting familiar with this weapon and starting to unlock it, especially if you play TDM, Domination, or any other of the smaller game modes in this game. But let's get a little bit into the build that I have. Now, this is not the meta build. This is not the official best all attachments for this gun, but this is the build that I feel is the most familiar and what I believe to feel as the best. I use the Mini Reflex 1X sight. You could use magnified scopes because of the low recoil, and there's not a lot of weapon bloom, especially if you use the variable ones, so you can go from 1 to 5, 1 to 6, etc. I used the standard suppressor, the 415mm prototype heavy barrel, the canted stubby grip, the 30-round fast mag because this will give you the faster reload, and the hollow point ammo, better for headshot damage. Again, you're gonna need this because of the low damage that this weapon has. I want to talk about a little bit of why I chose the standard suppressor over the other muzzles, and that's because this does give you a little bit of a bump in the precision, but also suppressors are very good in this game. There's not a lot of downsides other than the actual attachment cost associated with them. So the flash hider and the suppressors do keep you off the minimap, and you could run the flash hider if you really wanted to, but I really like the suppressors because, again, there's not a lot of negative side effects to that other than the attachment cost. To go a little bit further as to why I chose the suppressor, it's because you need to use this weapon to its strengths, either getting the first shot off, going on flanks, just surprising the enemy, and having that suppressor is going to help a lot because, you know, the audio is obviously going to be a bit lower. The enemy doesn't know where they're getting shot from. You're not going to be 3D spotted or spotted on the minimap while using the suppressor. That's what this gun is for. And kind of like what I said at the beginning of the video, you know, when you think of the real life applications and the Russian Special Forces use this weapon, you can see the similar play style as what it would be used for in Battlefield. Going on flanks, going behind the enemy, getting the first shot off, being a surprise attack weapon. Obviously you can use it at long range, like I said, because of the tap fire capabilities and the low recoil, but you heavily have to use this weapon to its strengths. There are a lot of weapons like the SMGs and the ARs that do higher damage, 25 to 30 damage, so you are at a disadvantage, especially if they get the first shot off. I am curious, however, to see what DICE does with weapon balancing though. Because of the Battle Royale mode that's about to come out, I'm curious if they're going to try and separate the different values for Battle Royale and multiplayer, or if it's going to be streamlined between both modes, or I guess the Battle Royale and the multiplayer. Could we see this gun getting a buff in the future, maybe in damage, or maybe a nerf in higher recoil? I'm not too sure, but I do think that this weapon does need a little bit of tweaking. I like where it's at right now because there is a little bit of skill involved, and I think that's something that is kind of necessary with a gun like this and how unique it is with the low recoil and low bloom, but then you also have the low damage. So I think it's pretty balanced as is, but again, I'm curious to see what they do with the Battle Royale mode and between that and multiplayer. And while we're on the topic of the Battle Royale, kind of going to what I was saying earlier, if you use this weapon build and it's able to be used in the Battle Royale, you definitely could use magnified scopes. I said this earlier that you could use magnified scopes, and it's certainly viable. You could use the thermal optics, that's definitely a possibility, or even using the 1 to 5x optics. Either one will work, just know that you are going to have to tap fire this weapon a lot more. So where does that leave this weapon? I think it is an amazing all-around weapon to use. You can use it in all different types of scenarios, whether you're up close, medium, or at far range. I think it's just a fun weapon to use. If you want to try something different that's just fun, you're gonna have a good time, that's where this weapon lies. Now, as I said in the beginning of the video, this is not a, oh, here's this meta weapon that you have to use. I don't want this video nor this series to be that. I don't want it to be a meta build series where we have to find the best AR or best carbine or overall best weapon to use in every scenario. No, it's meant to be discoverable of, hey, how can we make this weapon into a close range beast or a long range sniper if it was an AR. I want that to be this series. I think that the meta mentality has kind of run its course, especially for me, and I just want it to be a fun series to play around with and to play around with in Battlefield. I think Battlefield is all about fun, and it's not about being the hardcore, grindy, sweaty player. Like, it's supposed to be a fun sandbox experience, and again, that's what I want this series to be. So if you have any suggestions on what weapon you would like to see, then please let me know down in the comments down below, whether it's this tactical M4 loadout or this wacky SMG sniper kind of loadout that you guys have. Then let me know down in the comments down below on what you would like to see next. I think I'm gonna pick the best comments that come up so far, and then we're gonna go from there. But let me know what else you would like to see change. You know, what more info do you want to see? Do you like the kind of info that I had in this video? You know, kind of just give me a little bit of direction so I know what you guys would like to see down the road in the future with this series. This is definitely a series that I want to do together and not just me and myself and my own ideas. But that's going to be it for today's video. Again, let me know what you'd like to see down in the comments down below. Like the video if you really enjoyed it. Subscribe if you loved the content and you want to see more. And until then, I'm out, and I will see you guys in the next video.
The need PS become over. I'll be right back.